fantastic. I mean, sort of my experience, so I left the army at 18, 19, and become a reservist. And I think what reservists have to offer IT is firstly discipline. You probably remember getting up at 5 a.m, doing some phys or physical exercise, running around. And yeah, a big thing for me, like I said, motivation for parallel is pushing really what military servicemen have to offer into the IT world. So I do contract recruitment in Belgium, and I work with some of the biggest consultancies in Belgium. And a big thing for me now is helping the Belgian veterans, but also UK military veterans get into IT in Europe and also the UK. But coming on to sort of the next sort of question, this is a very good question that one of my colleagues helped me, right? So what support do you think we as employers or our clients should offer military personnel to get into IT?
The transition from the military to the private world, and for sure in a high-speed environment, high-paced environment like technology industry, can be brutal. You absolutely have no clue where you step into. So I see the recruiters and the headhunters as a part of consultants and advice what to do, what are the things to avoid, how do you present yourself. Because in my experience, at least in Belgium and in Western Europe, actually, veterans are a huge pool of talent which is barely touched by industry currently. And that has several reasons. Their CVs are often not understood by civilian recruiters. They don't see the added value of certain actions that we did or operations that we did in the past or leadership positions.
Yeah.
Another thing is that I think recruiters have to translate between certificates that you get in the army and civilian degrees, because it's different words. So the tools selecting CVs don't pick up the CVs of veterans often, while these people have so much experience operational. They're exposed to pressure, to stress. They know team building. You mentioned discipline yourself, consistency. They're extremely team focused, mission driven. Often also technology focused, because when you're deployed, technology can make the difference between life and death, really. So all these aspects, veterans are extremely equipped for it. They're prepared for it, but their skills often do not translate to things that civilian recruiters recognize. If you have a CV and you have to match it to a job description, it's often a mismatch. So I see recruiters and headhunters a perfect game, a perfect role in them to be the facilitators, the translators, and then let's use that unexploited pool of talent to fill the talent gap which exists currently in the tech industry. So extremely important.
And I think the last question I have is what challenges do ex-servicemen face sort of when coming back to work? We've talked about what employers can offer, but obviously you're being an ex-serviceman yourself and a little bit myself, what kind of challenges do you think they face coming into the workplace?
I told you in the beginning that the transition can be brutal.
Yeah.
And there are several reasons for that. One is we come from a public sector and we work for the greater benefit of the good. We try to accomplish a mission. And first of all, when you work to industry, nobody's going to tell you what is your mission. You need to identify your mission yourself. That is asking some moments of reflection to think about, okay, what and how am I going to do that? That's one. Second, industry is business. I mean, it's not about the profit. It's about you need to make money because you need to be able to pay your people. You need to be developing new things. You need to keep your shareholders happy. You need to grow as a team, as a company. And as a military, we don't often have that financial reflex. Okay, we are used to honestly spend tax money, but we don't have to think about how we get that money. And that's one of the key drivers in business, because you constantly have to build business cases for everything what you want to do. For example, just going to give a random number. If I hire you and I want to pay you 100,000 euro a year, it's a nice salary if you come from the army, fantastic.
Yeah.
Then you have to realize that 100,000 euro needs to be made on top of projects and products which have also their price. So if you have a margin of like 10% on, that means that if I hire you, you need to make me €1,100,000. How are you gonna bring more than 1 million to our company now to make that difference? So you really have to think in terms of, okay, what's the added value that I bring? What's the financial added value? Because with that added value, I'm paying my own salary. And that's a reflex that we don't have. Another thing is we are trained in certain things of management with leadership, and that's all perfect. But management of industry teams is way different. Why? If we command soldiers in the field, it's clear. Guys, this is your mission, this is your target, these are your actions to take, go. And you even don't question that there will be one soldier in your team saying, no, don't feel like. No, because as a mission, we will do so. In industry, it's different. Everybody has his agenda. Everybody has his feelings. Everybody has his thoughts. Everybody has his interest to certain things, which means that if you have 40 people in front of you and you have a certain project, it's not by all sure that everybody has the same or is aligned to do it the way that you think they want to do it. That means you always have to look for congruent interests. Why are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? Does everyone agree with it? So it requires much more diplomatic skills than in the army. The army, you don't need diplomatic skills, not too much anyway, to get things done. So that are the main challenges, the financial mindset, the economic drivers. Another thing, what I think as a challenge is, I think I also wrote it in my post, I think, you need a good mentor, a good coach, and a good manager. Absolutely crucial to be successful. A mentor is someone who walked the road before, who knows what happens, who's going to help you with the tips and tricks. Don't do that and do that. Learn this, focus on that, take that course, go there on a training. That's how you do. A coach is someone who's walking next to you and lives day by day, trains you actually more in the habits that you need to do. I know we're disciplined and we woke up at 5 to be there. Well, in industry, you have other disciplines that you need to do. I need to take that course myself. Nobody's going to tell you, but in 2 days, you stand in front of a public, an audience, and you need to talk about it. You don't want to go with your face on the ground. It's discipline to train yourself. A coach helps you with that. And then the importance of a manager. You know, in the army, if you have a good officer or a bad officer in front of you, it makes a world of difference. But at the end, he is not going to break your career often, because officers, they roll out after 2-3 years and then you get another one and, you know, new life. I know in platoons have often 10, 15 different officers in 20 years, whatever, that's fine. A manager really can make or break your career, literally. And not just your career, also your financial situation, because part of your salary is often paid on bonus or variable salary. So at the end of the year, your manager is going to look at you. How much did he bring to my team? What's added value? Yes, no. And sometimes your variable can go up to 40, 50% of your salary. That means in summertime, you're going to have a great summer, or it's going to be a difficult summer for you. So he also going to send you on courses. He's going to talk positive about you because, and that's, I think, the last item that I want to bring to this question is everything is only successful if you have a great and nurture your great brand and the perception that people have of you. Perception is not a lie. Perception is the visualization of what you do. So you have to promote your own actions. You have to talk about it. You have to visualize it. You have to make sure that people see what you do. A manager is helping you with that because he's telling your achievements to other managers, to the leadership, to clients, to customers, and that's what you need. From yourself, first of all, of course, you need to do a good job. That's one thing. But second, and very important, is you have always to act integer and ethical. So there can be no spot or stain on your brand. So working about your brand, promoting it, explaining it, showing it, helping others. That's what I also try to do with other veterans, obviously, who come to me for questions or look for change in their situation. Help people, they will help you. So that's a lot of challenges, but as you see, like yourself, many people are very successful in it, thanks to how we are trained and thanks to our mindset.
No, I completely agree. I think so. Just to round off, my experience is, like you said, a big thing for me. So when I joined, I was a teenager, staying in bed till 11 o'clock in the morning. And you mentioned about leadership. So yeah, I've had experience of good officers. I've had experience of great officers. I've had experience of terrible officers. But a big thing for me is people management. Obviously, I believe you're an officer in the military yourself. You sound like a good officer, dare I say so, or a great officer. So I think, yeah, no, I think thanks for your time on this, Bram. Because like I said, for me personally, I've met with a lot of veterans, I've met with a lot of serving soldiers, and the big problem that we have at the moment across the militaries across the world is that transition into civic life. So anything I can do in yourself, it sounds like it to help it's a good idea. So look, I think I'll end the call there, Bram. But look, thanks so much for your time, and I'll follow up with a few emails, maybe some CV advice that I can give guys that you've got coming in and stuff like that.
Of course.
Perfect. All right, Bram. Thanks so much. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, and thank you for supporting the veteran community.
No problem. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Bye.
Bye.